Welcome back, YouTube, to Atlanta to Dallas Aviation. This is my post-Christmas show where I'm going to show you the models that I got. And as you can see kind of in front of you, I do have a turntable now. It wasn't a Christmas gift. I did buy it after the fact after opening all my Christmas gifts, there wasn't a turntable in there. So I bought one, so that's why you're waiting till now to see the models that I got, because I was waiting for this to come in, because I really wanted to start doing turntable videos so I can keep my hands free and all that good stuff. But anyway, so I got this turntable, and I find out afterwards, you may notice that it appears that I'm in a different position to do this video. Typically, I'm over there, but today I'm over here because the turntable did not come with a specific battery, so I have to buy a specific rechargeable battery before I can, or I have to figure out some way to get an extension cord so I can do it the way I'm doing it. You can see that I have it plugged in, so this plug, USB plug, that plugs into my computer, which is a desktop computer and not a laptop computer. So that's how it's getting power. So I have to do it over here, but hopefully by the next time I have an unboxing video, I'll either have a battery or I'll have some sort of setup where I can be back in my usual position to do these. But I didn't want to wait for that. Alright, so for today, I have 3 models. They're all DC-9 -30s. One's a Delta, and 2 of them are Eastern, and the Easterns are both slightly different. And as usual, I have my extra information that I'll be able to actually read while you're watching it turn on the turntable, so that'll be nice. And these DC-9s, they're all Aero Classics. One of them was in a green box, so I assume it was the green box subsidiary, or whatever you want to call it, but green box of Aero Classics, where they don't put their name on it and stuff. That's the one that the Delta came in, and Delta's very unforgiving if you make things with their logos and stuff. So that's probably why it was in a green box that's not labeled other than made in China. So I'll go ahead and start with that. So here's the box that came in. Nice green box. This is the only labeling on it, and otherwise it's just a plain green box. And those of you who have some Aero Classics also know that they typically don't have item numbers on there. Evidently what Aero Classics basically does is their item number is the registration of the plane that the model represents, preceded by Alpha Charlie November. So when I read out the registration numbers, the item number is Alpha Charlie November, and then the rest of the aircraft number, or the aircraft registration number. So anyway, so I already showed you this one. So that's the box that the Delta DC-930 came in. We'll put him right in here. And And get a close up here so you can watch it turning and turning and turning. Okay, I need to be about right there. All right. And I got a nice mirrored, let's see, he is not centered properly. So I got it nice and mirrored so you can sort of see the bottom, so that's also kind of nice. We actually have it turning in the opposite direction than I usually have it turning, but that's okay. And I believe I have it on the slowest setting, so sorry if it's going fast, but you'll get to see all the sides. You'll get to see all the sides several times before I'm ready to move on to the next aircraft. So, and it's going to be a little bit rough the first few times I do this until I get used to actually having this. All right, let's see. All right. All right, so some of the extra information here. So as you can see, this is the classic livery. However, it is the 70s version. And basically what that means is if it were the 80s version, the whole entire nose would be black rather than just the very tip of it being black, and having the glare shield just below the cockpit windows being black. It would just be, the whole entire thing would be black. If you're familiar with Delta, I think you know what I'm saying or trying to say. So this particular airframe is, its registration number is November 3336 Lima. And I've already said all three of the models I'm showing you today are DC-930s. It was delivered to Delta in June of 1968. And it also flew for ValueJet and AirTran. And it was withdrawn from use in April of 2002, and it is now currently a scrapped aircraft. When it was in service, it was powered by two Pratt & Whitney JT8Ds, and then there's a whole bunch of different models based on their thrust, but I could not figure out which set of JT8Ds they were. So, but they're all JT8Ds of some sort. And then the most likely seating configuration when it was flying for Delta was 12 domestic first class and 86 coach. And like I said, this is basically the 70s version of the classic Delta widget. All right. So now that you've gotten a view of that, let me take him off the turntable. And we'll, let's see which one is next, because these are only slightly different. Okay, so it's supposed to be, so the next two that are Eastern, whoa, let me pull out here. So the next two that are Eastern came in boxes that look like this. So there's a little bit more here. Aero Classics was more than happy to announce that it was by Aero Classics, and Douglas DC-9 there at the bottom. But there's no indication except to look through the box there as to what airline was in the box. And oh, there, I'm sorry, there is a picture of it on the back. However, this version is the second one I'm going to show you. But the first, actually, let me look at the other box. Maybe the other box has a picture of the version I'm about to show you. Nope, it doesn't. So the picture is the same on both boxes, but there's a little bit difference in the one I'm about to show you and the one that will be right after it, and I'll point that out. Alright, so it does look like, oh no, my glove ripped. Alright, well, c'est la vie. See, I don't know, it just ripped out of nowhere. I guess it can only take so much for so long. Alright, hopefully I got that in a good place. Oops. Alright, we go round and round and round we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. Alright, so what's different about this one? So both of the ones I'm about to show you are polished metal. And the only thing different, I didn't bring my pointer, of course, but what's different is you notice the hockey stick. Look very closely at the hockey stick. When we get, you will see that the hockey stick is below the window line. So this is evidently an earlier version of the silver hockey stick, where the light blue and the dark blue outlined by white was underneath the window line. Alright, so that's what's different. You're going to notice that when I show you the next one, that that they are different. But this one has all the stripes and the hockey stick are below the window line. This particular model is of airframe November 8 Niner 66 Echo. Again, hockey stick 70s, in the 70s version, which is under the window line. It was delivered to Eastern in August of 1968, and it ended its career with an airline called ADC Airline. With an incident. It ended its life with an incident in July of 1995, and the damage was to the point where the plane was just written off. So that's how that one ended its career. It was powered by two Pratt & Whitney JT8D-7Bs, and it did designate that in what I was looking at, but I didn't look up to see which thrust that represented. So I don't know what thrust -7B represents. And if any of y'all know, please feel free to put it in the comments and educate me. And then the likely configuration for this aircraft when it flew for Eastern was 12 domestic first class and 87 coach. Another thing I actually noticed, and I'm not sure if it's correct or not, but the other thing that's different, look at the engines when it comes back around. The engines have no color on them. There's no stripe extended on the engines themselves, and it has the Pratt & Whitney logo on it. I can get a little bit closer, so maybe, oh, whoa, dude. He didn't like me being that close. Sorry. Alright, look, okay, so real quick, you can see the Pratt & Whitney is close to the engine intake up there in the front. You will not see that on the other model. Alright, so we'll zoom out a little bit again. we will remove this one, and we will bring in the last one for this video. All right. Let's see if I'm at a good distance. Give you a chance to look at that. All right, a little bit closer. All right, what you'll see, so it's still a hockey stick, right? But the light blue portion of the hockey stick is the window line, and only the dark blue is below the window line. And you will also see that the stripes of the hockey stick have been extended to the engines. So we have half the engine is that light blue, bottom part of the engine is the dark blue, and I am seeing that there's a Pratt & Whitney emblem on the near the intake of the engine. So so that is there. And this airframe is November 8 Niner 88 Echo, and it's closer to the more like the 80s version of the silver hockey stick. It was delivered to Air Canada on lease from Kiribati in June of 1967, and when it got delivered to Air Canada on lease, its registration was November 938 Papa Romeo, and it was obtained by Eastern Airlines in April of 1973 with still that old registration, and then the registration got changed to the one that this model represents in May of 1973. It ended its service with Servivenza and retired in March of 1996, and this airframe is now scrapped. It too was powered by two Pratt & Whitney JT8Ds. I assume that since the other one was a -7B, these probably were also, but I could not confirm that. So just JT8Ds of unknown thrust, and most likely cabin configuration again was 12 domestic first class and 87 coach. All right, so those are the three models that I basically bought myself, but I did not open them until Christmas. I've actually had them for a while, but you know, I basically buy my own Christmas presents since I'm the only person bringing in any money. So I just gave them to my wife to wrap up for me when I did get them. And I probably shouldn't be sharing that with you. I'm not really complaining. I'm just saying that's how it was. But these are the only three models I got, basically because I bought them for myself. But anyway, very happy to have these. I really badly needed some Eastern narrow bodies from the old days, and I had already gotten some of the Delta narrow bodies. I can't remember how many Aero Classics actually put out, but they put out like 4 different versions, I think, of the Delta DC 930. 2 of them were delivery liveries where the widget was sideways on the vertical stabilizer. and one of those was just Delta, and one of them was Delta Airlines written out across the top. And then there were two versions. There was the 70s version with the regular widget like I showed you today, but there was also an 80s version where the nose cone was completely black and led up to the cheat line, the blue and red cheat line, which I also already had that one. So anyway, so I have these nice 3 in my collection now, and basically that is the end of the video. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. If you're enjoying multiple videos, please also consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, I love reading your comments, especially if they're about the models that are in each of the videos. You have them and have an opinion about them, or whatever, or correcting something that I said that wasn't exactly right, or giving me information that I didn't know. I love learning what I don't know. So that concludes this video. So basically, until the next video, happy collecting.